Hello. Didn't make any Instagram posts. Shame on me.
I know. I was just like running around all crazy.
Mm-hmm. The struggle. The struggle. Let
I
me
was
see
just
if
like
I
running
can.
around all crazy.
Let me see this. Okay. Trying to make sure that it's on YouTube. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it is. I see it.
Oh, all right, cool. On the U or the tube. Okay, so welcome to the Stephen Graham Jones verse read along here, and today is our first book pick, which is The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. And we have Kim here. Kim, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Kim. My channel is Native Lady Bookwear. I am Tewa Hopi from the village of Tewa Hopi Nation, and I'm Tobacco Clan. So most of the time I read indigenous authored lit, but yeah, it was really interesting how we came up like we should do something because we saw Erin's library, her
Yes.
post, right, and she's
Mm-hmm.
doing this Stephen Graham Jones challenge. So
Mm.
I sent the message to Bree, and she was like, "Whoa, I'm definitely gonna do this," and I was like, "We should do a show," and she's like,
Yeah.
"Really?" She's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So
Yeah.
I think I think that very next day we were already trying to pick books, right? Or something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm. It
Yeah.
was
So
very soon
it was
after
fun.
that. Yes. So we got some books picked already, but we have this book and then Growing Up Dead in Texas. Is
Yeah.
that okay? Growing Up Dead in
That one.
Texas.
And y'all have time for that. I think that one will be in May, right? April,
April.
March,
April
April.
15th.
Yeah, April 15th.
Yep,
And then we're
April.
skipping.
Yep, and we're
Then we're
skipping.
skipping May. Skipping May.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then we
I
come
was like,
back.
why? Yeah. I was like, I had May in my brain. I was like, why do I have May in my brain? Oh, yeah. Okay. We're coming back. We're coming back. I remember.
Hey, some gotta make sense. Yeah. Do you want to give us a synopsis or like a I don't know, like just a small synopsis of what the book is?
Yeah, so this book, it's really interesting, the format that it's written in, and
That
it's
again.
very horror tropey. It's a horror.
Hmm.
I think some of the people that I have been talking to said they couldn't mesh or couldn't run with the format of the book because it's written not exactly like a script, but it's written like you're actually watching a horror movie like right before you. So it's fun that way, but also I think in the beginning it can probably be a little jarring, a little confusing. But once you get into it, then it becomes a lot more fun and interesting. So the book starts out almost I was kind of expecting already to be introduced to characters and kind of like the setting, but it's not. It already throws you into this situation where this character, this girl, is running away. She's about to get murderfied,
Yeah.
and a person is chasing this girl, and right off the bat she nicknames this slasher murder fire Billie Jean
Oh,
because
that's
he
what took
is,
me out. The Billie Jean.
yeah.
I was like,
And he's wearing a Michael Jackson mask, and he's trying to kill her. So this book is actually like the jump off of a sequel, right? Like the horror already took place, but
mm-hmm.
then when you find out going on into the book, you're like, wow, I'm reading a sequel. I'm reading the sequel of this first horrifying, like the first movie already took place, and then you're kind of jumping into this sequel, but introduced to these characters who are very sarcastic. They all know their horror genres, and the horror tropes. They're really embedded in that culture. And of course, it's in a small town, right? It's happening in a small town. And you're kind of running into these really funny horror Easter eggs. So if you're really into the horror genre, especially 80s to 90s horror, you're just you'll probably really enjoy it. But if you aren't, then maybe this isn't the book for you. So
yeah, I found the format was a little bit hard for me to grasp at first. And I think it also probably attribute to some of my memory loss on what actually happened in the book, because I was like, wait a minute, and then I had to like restart it twice because I was like, there's something about the format that's kind of throwing me off. So I'm glad you talked about the format. For those of you in the comments, how many of y'all read the book? Hello.
I made it. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Yes, come on through. Hey, Layla. Hey, Josh. Okay. I actually love the format. Once I got used to it, I could picture everything. Yeah, it felt like you were experiencing a movie to me.
Yeah, it did. It just felt, I could see all these images in my head, especially when it said shift in POV, like wide shot, or POV to this person, and then that little arrow when it would show you kind of like a transition. So
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool, and especially if it like aerial view of the town coming up slow, and
Yeah.
it even describes the background music, like, oh, thriller background music, it's loud. And
Yeah.
so it's I believe they call that the narrator who is kind of like reading or describing what is happening. It's the commentary there is also really funny, and also what's happening with the plot and these very tropey characters are so hilarious. At the beginning of this book, I also had a hard time reading it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to download the audiobook. I think maybe that will help me out, because I just had so many distractions this week. And so I was listening to this book with my daughter, and it was that part, the very beginning, where the horse, and then she takes off her bikini and she lassos it. It hits the murder fire, and it's so ridiculous, but it's also so funny, and a huge like tribute and like love to all of those horror scenes you see, or that you watch, or maybe even that you read. So I found that part just so entertaining and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
There was parts where I was laughing so hard I had to stop and put the book down. It's so me and my daughter were driving on our way back from, I picked her up from a softball game, and then it got to the part where this horse, right? Because this killer in the very beginning, she gets away. So this isn't spoilery. This happens in the very beginning of the book. This horse comes out of nowhere, named Wildfire, and
it's
tries to defend.
Animal with Stephen
Yeah,
Graham.
right. It is. And so this murderer person, this horse is trying to protect this girl, and then this murderer, this slasher person, hacks up this horse, but the horse survives, of course.
Yeah.
And then the girl jumps on the horse, and she's like, I'll be your eyes. It was, oh my gosh, I had to just put my Kindle down and just laugh for like a straight minute. And yeah, so, and then finally continue my book from there. But it was so funny.
I kept finding the funniest parts is when they just kept referring to Billie Jean and like trying to convince other people that it was Billie Jean. And then I remember one part of the book where one of the characters, because I don't remember character names, I feel bad for that, sorry. But one of the characters was talking to another one and was like, it shouldn't be this easy for me to convince you that it's Billie Jean. Like it usually takes more work for me to and I was like, yeah, because in TV shows or in movies, when you're watching horror, people just don't believe like the person when they say, hey, is this person is out to get me. And another thing I kept laughing at is like how serious they were taking like the school dance or the school prom. Like it's how they were just like we're doing this kind of thing. Like that, the whole backstory around that I found funny too, and being like, I'm gonna dress the way that I am and the way they went to that party, and it was just like I'm gonna have my boobs out and I'm gonna do all and it was just like the narrator is like she took off one button and she took off another. I'm like, wow, going real deep into this. So yeah, I thought those were some funny parts.
Yeah, and then the commentary too. I can't. It was towards the end. It's not spoilery to the plot, but I think Lindsay was crying. Right? She's crying. She says, "I don't even want to be queen anymore." And
Yeah.
then Izzy says, "Oh," or she says something like, "Is the crown too heavy or whatever?" And she says, Izzy responds back, "What, Shakespeare?" And then Izzy's like, "No, I think it was Conan." Because I loved Izzy. I think I loved all of the characters because I could pinpoint them to characters that I liked in other horror movies that I
Yeah.
watched or other horror books. And then also the little Easter eggs within the characters, like
Yeah.
Crystal Blake, and yeah, so it was just so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so obvious. But like
Yeah.
Jamie, so they're like, are you serious? Your name's Jamie Curtis? He's like, yeah, with the silent Lee, with the silent middle name of Lee. So I
Yeah.
think to write this much, right? To um I think Stephen Graham Jones, I mean, definitely is such a horror fan. I think when he talks about all of these, even I remember one time him talking on an interview and him discussing horror movies I haven't even seen yet because they're so like small, like they haven't
Yeah.
made it into big picture stuff. And I remember going back and then just watching some of those, and then the gore in this too is pretty gory. I think a lot of people. um, my husband was. I was listening to the end of the book last night, and he was like, "Whoa, who's
Yeah.
getting what? What?"
It gets pretty a lot of people get injured towards the end, I find. So I get that.
I'm trying to think like gore in terms of gore, like on a 1 to 5. Well, I think what I always do when I read a Stephen Graham Jones book, I'm always comparing it to The Only Good Indians because that's probably like the first book I read first.
Same.
And but this, I feel like the gore wasn't as in your face. It's more it's very descriptive, obviously, but it's not as impactful because I think the tone of the story is very satire um
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even the narrator, him
Yeah.
describing what's going on, like, oh, we think someone's there, but we don't really know, or
Right.
just all these really funny
Even putting
comments.
in like POV, like in this and that, it makes you um have a different relationship with the text versus the Only Good Indians, where you were really afraid for all four of those main characters. You know what I mean? You're like, damn, this elk is coming for you. You know what I mean? You better I'm afraid
Yeah.
for you kind of thing. Versus this, it was I felt like it was very satirical and comical. And I don't think I've seen I don't think I knew how funny Stephen Graham Jones could be.
Yeah.
Reading this, yeah.
So I've read all the other popular final girl books. Sagar. I found it interesting to compare them as homologies to trope. Yeah.
I haven't. I was going to I was gonna read Final Girl Support, but I haven't. There will be a super gruesome. Hi, cutie.
He just ran off.
Yeah. There would be a supreme gruesome moment, and then we move on immediately to something else. Exactly.
Yeah. So how did you like the pacing of this? The pacing of the book?
I thought the pacing was good. I didn't leave this book wanting more or wanting less, so I view that as a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
There was times where it was good. It didn't drag. It dragged a little bit in the middle, but but there was times where it was going so fast. It was like dish dish dish. Especially towards the end. So I would have to actually rewind or just turn off the audio and then just take my time with the book. Or I would find myself reading it too fast. And I'm like, what did I miss? I missed something here. So when I read certain parts in the conclusion of what was coming up, I was like, wait, what did I miss? But I think it was just because I was reading it too fast.
Yeah.
So it was but I liked how where it changes, you know how in a horror movie it'll change, like it'll shift a scene, spend like 1 second, transition, then another second, just showing like all the characters who we think might be the person, right? And it was really cool just to see that going on. And I'm like, oh. And most of the time when I'm reading horror or thriller, I'm already trying to guess who the heck it is. But I feel like the voice in this book and how it's written, it was just written so fun that I wasn't concerned with who it was. You know, I was just having a good time with it.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like the only part when I think about it was fast, because I was like, wait a minute. What's going on? Was when they had that bonfire or party, and it was just like moments of like someone engaging in sex or something sexual, and then it was like Billie Jean, and then it was like again, then Billie Jean, then again, and I was just like,
it felt very whiplashy, right? I
was like,
yeah,
whoa,
it was just like,
yeah,
it felt like that. But there was my daughter ended up reading this with me. She was like, I don't know what it says about me if I actually want to see this on the screen, because it shouldn't be on a screen because it's so like ridiculous. And it's also, she's like, it could be offensive, but I don't know why I want to see it on the screen. Am I bad? So yeah, it was funny.
I think it would be entertaining. Like, I kept thinking about Scream while reading this book, because you know the screams for my memory can be very satirical. So I was like thinking about, like, if this was a movie, it would be something like Scream.
Yeah, I kept thinking of Scream, especially like how the video, that the director and how they made the music that they chose, and also the aerial views of the town, and just all these really dumb characters, and also the real quirky ones, right? And the sarcastic ones. And I thought of Scream too, but I also thought of Cabin in the Woods,
Oh
like
yeah.
partly that. I thought I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like Cabin in the Woods, like there's not a lot of myth or anything like that, but especially with that last Billie Jean, him getting killed like over is over. It's like you have to basically grind him into hamburger
Yeah.
for him to die. But so that part was just so ridiculous, but it was so funny too. And then you're just kind of like waiting, like, okay, he's not dead yet. He's not dead yet. So it was, so that part was kind of ridiculous, but it was funny too, because you see that in obviously Jason, and then Halloween, or not Jason, Friday the 13th. And then, so I thought that was really cool. And then, it was also campy, even though it's not campy in a way, like campy horror.
I keep hearing people say it can be, and I don't understand what that means.
So, like, you know how you have a group of teens like at a place, and then they're getting picked off one by one. You don't know who it is. So I know that's like also campy horror. Also, I think that was more in the beginning, but I think that small town feel kind of led to it, because I didn't realize how many characters there was.
There were so many characters, and I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't keep up.
I think I only would remember certain ones, specific ones, especially the girls, because of what their names were, like Ripley from Aliens, and then Crystal Blake, and then Izzy. I got confused in the beginning because I thought Lindsay was Izzy. I thought Izzy was a nickname for Lindsay. So, but then I found out they were separate characters, so I had to go back and reread that part.
Yeah, I like the
Josh is like
too the most.
Yeah, Jason. So that's because his popular children is not equal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Brandy. Thank you. I would totally watch. Same. Jason is Friday the 13th, is it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the scariest like series of horror movies to me, but I watch it the most.
Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was I really liked Nightmare on Elm Street.
I have sleep.
Yeah, that was
hated that shit as a kid. I was like, no. Freddy who?
Yeah.
No.
You're like, Freddy. I think, it was that. I think that one's probably one of my favorites growing up. I think definitely Friday the 13th was another one, because it was so funny. I remember my sisters telling me like the same thing. You have conversations, like even my kids now, when we watch a horror movie, and my daughters would be like, oh, they're smoking weed, they're gonna die. Oh, they're having sex, they're gonna die twice. And it just all these so it even my kids, like, knowing kind of like these rules of kind of like horror movies, but I don't even know if they've even seen Scream. So I was like, where did you get that from? She's like, everybody knows this, everybody knows it. She's like, it's American society trying to control us, because they're trying to teach us that if we do drugs, we're going to get killed. So I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I like her.
It says, Halloween. Halloween's like a good one.
Halloween, I like. The Exorcist I didn't quite get, but I understand. What is it? The guy, Jeepers Creepers, I was a fan of, even though it was really.
Oh yeah.
I was a fan of Jeepers Creepers. and then like the Candyman.
Oh yeah, I loved Candyman. Candyman was so good. Everybody makes fun of me. Everybody makes fun of me because I even like the sequels and the new one that came out. They're like, those are trash. Why do you like those? I'm like, and it's just
you're
because
a true
the
horror fan, you're gonna watch them. Like you're gonna watch them, and that's exactly what I did. Yeah.
Oh, Evil Dead, yeah.
Yeah.
Evil Dead, Hellraiser.
Resident Evil too. I think I watched some of those.
Oh, Resident Evil.
I think I'm not
zombies.
Sure.
What's like everybody in the chat? What's like your favorite zombie horror or zombie movie? Not a show, a zombie movie.
Yeah. For me, it's Halloween.
You like Halloween? Yeah, Halloween's good.
Yeah, Halloween is real good. I'm trying to think. My favorite show, what horror aspects I'm gonna say is it was American Horror Story, their New Orleans season. I really liked the horrific things that happened in that series. In that season, it was good to me. I was like, yes, Angela Bassett, do it. Really love that.
Yeah, I'm really
Why not?
I'm trying to like think of Evil Dead. Oh yeah, Evil Dead. That counts. Evil when I first watched Evil Dead, I was young and it scared the crap out of me. Evil Dead.
Yeah. My mom really liked action-packed movies, and for her, it was horror films. And I don't think I realized that until this year, because I'm like, all of these movies that I like, I've watched with my mom. Like she was like, we're watching this. And I'm like a kid. And I'm like, I'm scared. You know what I mean? But I've watched all of these things with my mom. So yeah, me and my mom love Jason. I think she liked Freddy Krueger, but I don't know. Today's also my mom's birthday. So, shout out to
yeah. Yeah, happy birthday, Bree's mom. I really like anything by Mike Flanagan. I think he knows how to pull my heartstrings, and
yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, Mike Flanagan is awesome. I've been really getting into a lot of Korean horror lately.
Yeah. I'm just saying, listen, Korean horror and Japanese horror, I feel like is next level. Like that. There's something about that. It's like more twisted, more gore for me, in my opinion. When I watch it occasionally. Read it occasionally too.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday. So what did you rate this book, Bree? I'm curious.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Let me see. I thought I had my phone with me, but I don't. So let me go to story. I don't think I rated it as like my favorite. It's not like a high rating I gave it in comparison to other Stephen Graham Jones that I've read.
Yeah, there's like a huge part of me that wanted to give this book like a 5 just because I had such a good time. I think my reaction to what I was reading and the format it was written in was clever. I really enjoyed the characters. The plot was okay, but I feel like my experience with how it was written and then how that there's kind of like a spectrum of like satire and then horror. But I think this book wasn't meant to scare us. I mean, sometimes I did. I was like, kind of popped out, or some things popped out, but I think it would just
Yeah.
startle me. But I don't think that was the point of this book. I think
Yeah.
it's just like a huge, like, this is how much I love horror, and this is how like ridiculous I can make this because it's my book or whatever. But I gave
Yeah.
it a 4. I think when I rounded things out, I ended up giving it a 4.
I gave it a 3.
You gave it a 3. Let's see.
That doesn't mean I hate the book or anything.
Oh yeah, there's
This
books
was,
I give a 3, and I enjoy them.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I think in my mind I kept comparing it, blah blah blah. I can't even say the word. I kept comparing it to the last Stephen Graham Jones book I read. That was very slashy, and I loved it. I just felt like there were some parts of the plot that I felt like if it was more flushed out, I would have understood it. Because there's this, I just
Yeah.
have to be honest, like with my comprehension, like not anyone else's comprehension, but like with mine, I need more to understand things. I can't always pick up eggs, like Easter eggs, as
Yeah.
easy as other people. Like I need a little bit more information for me to understand it. So it stuff
Mhm.
don't click that fast for me. So I was like, because I felt lost a lot, I gave it 3. Even though I had a good time, I did feel lost a lot.
Yeah, I think with me, um I mean, I know some people would automatically like downgrade a rating if they have to go back, or if they have
Oh, I
to
didn't do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
because they feel like maybe it's not streamlined enough. But for I think that was just personal for me, because I was like, oh, I didn't, I mean, I already knew beforehand when we chose it what format it would be in, but I
right.
thought it would be a script. I thought it was written like a script, but it's not. It's written like you're watching the actual movie. So
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, it's not written like a script. It's written like it's actually in this rectangle in front of me. So I was like, okay, so I had to kind of like change things up and in my brain, and really kind of delve into it.
yeah,
But the narrator, did you read the audiobook?
yeah.
No?
I
Yeah.
listened to the audiobook, I would say like 1.5 times because there were parts of the book that I thought was just really funny, and I just had to
Uh-huh.
re-listen to it again. Or there was parts of the book that I was like, well, that was confusing. And I was like, it took me a long time to finish this audiobook because I wanted to like really try to understand as much as I could. So
Mhm.
Demon Theory is on my TBR as well.
Yeah, I haven't read Demon Theory yet. Um, I just feel like I should just spend a whole week just focusing on his books that aren't like real thick, because he has some books like this one. It didn't take me that long to read. It was a really
No,
quick read for me.
yeah.
Um,
Shout out to Scrib for this, though.
mhm.
Scrib has a lot of his books in audiobook form, if anyone was looking for that. I'm trying to find the note we have on the other books that we plan on reading. Do you remember?
It's probably in my chat somewhere.
Yeah.
Or no, we talked about it on IG, right? No, we didn't chat.
No, we
We
did it.
actually did a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay.
we were we were in each other's face.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay,
like,
I got it. So
okay.
we plan on reading Demon Theory, yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Josh, come back.
Yeah, because we got
Yeah, because next month is
Growing Up Dead in
Growing Up
Texas.
Dead in Texas.
Yeah.
And that show will be on April 15th.
Yeah. And then
at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Yeah. So we do have Demon Theory on the list. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 books. We'll still have to see. I wrote down 10 books, but I don't think we figured out all of them. But the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First 5 it looks here that we figured out.
I think we were also trying to pick books that were on Script and was it Hoopla? Yeah. So I know there's a lot of readers out there, especially on BookTube, who have Script. So we tried to be a little bit more, so everybody would be able to access it.
Yeah, because the books we have here, wow, I'd be taking a lot of notes on a lot of random stuff I'm looking at here. These are like my favorite things to take notes on. They're just huge note cards. So I'd be like, yeah. I don't even know where I got them from, but they are heaven sent to me. But we have the books we have listed to choose from is Demon Theory, Zombie Bake Off, After the People Lights Have Gone Off, The Night Cyclists, Mapping the Interior, The Ones That Got Away, and Zombie Sharks with Metal Teeth. We also didn't want the books to be super long. So like The Night Cyclist is 35 pages, Mapping the Interior is 112, The Ones That Got Away is 256 pages. And then Zombie Sharks with Metal Teeth is 107, 70 pages.
Mm-hmm. So. And I think we got the time wrong on the post, because you are an hour ahead of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on this time, we put me an hour ahead of you.
Dang.
Yeah, well, but it's okay. It's not till April, so we can fix it.
Okay.
So if it's 5 p.m. Central, then it'll be 4 p.m. my time.
Yeah, because it's 3:39 your time.
Yeah, right now it's 3:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, he's all like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, so what I've just read, I think, was some of his older stuff. I can't remember but it was
we were wanting to do his older stuff, right? Like nothing new. Yeah. We wanted, because we're just like, let's dig into some of this stuff that he's written before.
Yeah.
And then to also not have it be so long. That's why we kind of like split it up, because we know you all participate in all kinds of book clubs throughout the year. And so this was just something, this was just something fun that we wanted to try out. Picking reads that were short, and so yeah.
I think, trying to think, I think the longest one would be After the People Lights Have Gone Off, but we also don't have to choose that one. There's other ones. So yeah,
there's plenty of other reads. Maybe we could poll after.
Yeah, we could do a poll. Do you want to do a poll now, or while we got people here, or do it later?
Maybe we can put it on our IG, since that's where we started.
Yeah,
and then we can do one, because we can do a poll on here too, right? On YouTube.
Yeah, I would have to.
And then we can just collect those. Not for the next book. I think we're doing Demon Theory for the third one, right?
Yep, Demon Theory. Yep.
Yeah, and then after that one. So not until like later, and we can do a poll.
Yep. Because I think we have Demon Theory and Zombie Bake Off as the next two.
Okay. Kathleen's like, he's got such a deep backlist. We could truly do this forever.
He's your
Yeah.
tool. Speak it. I was like, whoo, we are deep in it.
Mhm.
But it's all right. It happens. You had
It's
to
gonna
go
be
and
fun.
find it. Well, any final thoughts about the book?
Oh yeah. What did everybody? I saw other people's ratings. What they rated it. I saw 5. I saw. I think Josh gave it a 3.5. Yeah. 4.5. Gave it a 5. That's cool.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. I feel I'm ready to dive into more of his work. So I'm gonna try to read some books that's not even in this list because I don't know. I just feel like I need to read everything that he writes. Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could send you some lists too, even if they're short stories.
Yeah.
And then we'll just share those, and then we'll just announce them later.
Yeah, that is true. I need to look on Aaron's Instagram. Let me see if I can find it so I can post it in the chat here. 1 second.
I think it's in Storygraph too.
It's on Storygraph too? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find it really quick before we head out and put it in the chat for y'all. While I'm looking, Kim, talk to the people.
Oh, so everybody, what is everybody reading right now? What is everybody reading? I want to see what everybody's reading. I started Tanana Reeves I'm probably about halfway. Tanana Reeves do the second book for African Immortals, The Living Blood. Yeah.
I read that.
Did you? Did you like it? Or was it like...
I don't know if you knew that I read that, but yeah, I like that series so far. I'm taking months in between reading the last book because I read the first book, then it took me like months to read the second book. And I might read the third book at the end of this year. It's just giving so much. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of goodness.
I'm gonna be buddy reading was it In Between? The In Between with Emma Ray Empowered.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Last week. The Between. Yeah.
The Between.
Yeah.
And I want to read The Good House. I want to read that.
Yeah. I'm currently reading The Good House. And I finished The Between last week. So
let's see.
The Good House though, I've started it 4 different times. And didn't finish it. And it wasn't anything for the book. It was 100% I wasn't in a horror mindset to read, so I stopped. It had nothing to do with the book.
But the African Immortal series, it's like a really amazing blend of genres. And I love slow pacing. I like character building. I know some people who are really into horror don't like slow paced horror or thriller, but I love it. It gives me the chills, and I end up dreaming about stuff like that. But Josh, I need to continue the African Immortal series. Yeah, it's pretty. I think I'm gonna probably do the third book next month too. The second book is thick. I was like, what? This is a pretty big book. It's like over 500 pages.
Yeah. I'm looking for when Aaron posted. Okay, I found it. I was like, I can't find it. Okay. I'm going to put Aaron's Instagram post, so please go follow her. Let me make sure I'm saying her pronouns right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go and follow her. Yeah. I didn't want to be misgendering nobody's. Yeah, I don't know if the series, if it's just for like this year. Is it to read all of these books this year?
I think it's just a challenge. I don't think it had a end date on it, as far as I know.
Let me see, because I know you can, oh yeah, you can start and finish whenever you like. Okay, cool. So that's good to have. So all the books we're reading is on the challenge list, I believe.
Yeah. And then me and Bree will be continuing this book read along 5 years from now.
A solid 5 years from now. So I put the Instagram, and then I also put the Story Graph Challenge. So I say go ahead and join. Did it tell me? Oh yeah.
Gosh,
sorry.
The In-Between is one of my favorites. Yeah. Stephanie Bookish was the one who told me to read The Good House. And at that time, I only had Libby. I didn't have Scribd yet. Only had Libby. And the only book I could find was, what was the first book called?
It's The Living Blood, and then it's like of the series?
No, yeah, of the series, the first book. I can't remember.
Oh my god! How do I only remember the It's like oh my god! Hold on, let me get it.
It's on my. I just read it. No, I read it Did I read it last year or did I read it this year?
Oh, My Soul to Keep. There we go.
Yeah, I was thinking of My Soul to Take, and I thought that was the only one, but it's not. It's My Soul to Keep is the first one.
Yeah, it's My Soul to Keep.
But the last half of that book, whew, I was like,
listen, it is rough. It's rough. I'm trying to read Blood Colony. I'm easing myself into that, you know. I'm like,
is that the fourth book?
That's the third book.
Oh, okay. And
yeah, I think it's
Ancestors.
just 3 books. Yeah, I think it's just 3 books. I don't think it's more than that. But let me look online. Oh, it is. It's so that's the third book. The fourth book is My Soul to Take. Yep.
The Ancestors, is that like a novella or is that a different book?
So the Ancestors, let me show you. It is actually a collection of stories. Hold on.
Yeah, because I saw that book on my recommended reads, but I didn't know.
So this is the Ancestors. It's a collection of horror stories by a couple different Black horror
so that's not part of.
Okay. Yeah, but I would recommend this too. So I have it tabbed here, all the Brandon Massey stories. So, but you can, read what you want. Yeah, it's essentially an anthology.
Oh, it's an anthology. Okay. So Blood Colony. Yeah, so it says The Living Blood is 528 pages.
Yeah.
Blood Colony is 422 pages. And My Soul to Take is 432 pages.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
Yeah. The Tananarive to me drags out certain scenes and like really explain stuff in a dragged out manner. but for some reason, I love it. Like, I feel like, yes, I need every detail of that. You're absolutely right. Give me all of that. So I don't know. I don't know why I love it with her and annoyed when other authors do it. Like it doesn't quite make sense. But
Yeah,
she's a storyteller.
like for me, even though I enjoy world building, I enjoy that element of fantasy and sci-fi, but if you don't have good character development, even if the plot is good, I'm just like, yeah, this is okay. Because and Tananarive do, I saw that in My Soul to Keep. I was just like, whoa. I mean, you can't. And with her, she creates complex characters, like characters you
Yeah,
can relate
every
to, that
character, even the side,
frustrate you. Yeah,
yeah,
and they're
even the
good.
side character. I'm like, what?
Hmm.
And don't think just because she mentioned this character once that she not gonna come back to you, that character, and give them a more flushed out, developed, like, character development. I'm like, wow, this is
Yeah,
just,
and
I like it.
she'll describe even the room, dragging it out, like
Yeah,
what's in the room, but you're getting a sense of what that character is, maybe what their routine is. So I thought that was really cool.
yeah,
And I was just like, wow, I love this. So I was just like, I got to continue this. I got to
yeah.
dig into her other stuff. So I was excited to read
I
more of
will
that.
say, I will say, in the African Immortal series, David, I still don't like him. I think I not finished the second book, so I still don't like him. But their daughter is like my favorite character. Like, I
Mhm.
just feel like the way she wrote this character was, I don't know anyone else who can write like that. It
Mhm.
was good. I owe nothing. So yeah, it was frustrating. Okay, I'm not gonna say it was frustrating. And I feel like you to read Tanana Reeve is to be frustrated, but in a good way. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
you know,
she creates depth in characters, and
yeah, for sure.
I think walking away from that first book, man, if I wasn't interested in those characters and invested in them, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll continue it, but I was.
yeah.
So, I mean,
For
the
in,
plot, because the plot isn't heavy. There's not a lot going on with it, but I think what kept me on it was the characters. And then
yeah,
developing the new characters in the second book. I was like, "Oh
yeah.
man, I'm going to like this guy. I'm going to fall in love with this doctor person." And then oh, let's just we'll see what happens.
Listen. I'm just gonna say it's good. It gave. I loved it. I also want to say it's like, I know a lot of people who, not a lot of people, a small amount of people who read the first book and was so frustrated with David, they didn't want to read the second book or finish. I'm just gonna say, let your frustration glide. Get past that so you can continue reading, because you're not going to be disappointed. I'm kind of mad at myself of how long it took me to read My Soul to Keep and The Living Blood. It was like almost
Mhm,
a year went by for me
mhm.
to read that
Yeah,
second.
and I can see people frustrated with him, but then I think what she gives us is just enough to see why he is that way, and just what I mean, he's been living. He's like considered. I can't remember how old it was. It 500 years old or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him and compared to like his brothers in the colony,
Yeah,
and you kind of get to understand why he's that way and
yeah,
why they live the way they do. But I haven't really got too much into them and like how what their backstories or anything or Dawood either. But I
yeah,
get it. And
yeah,
I get why he's frustrated. I get why he is the way he is. So it's so I wasn't as frustrated. I think because I was really invested in her. And even then, her like showing how she is in terms of him. But then I'm like, wait, I remember being that infatuated and thinking this person can't do wrong.
Jessica was doing the most. My frustration with Jessica. Oh, it was too much. Because the only person I talk about this book with is Amaray. Because I'd be like, Jessica is about to get these hands. Like, she is but it's all right. It's okay. Well, we won't keep talking.
But I like that. I like the frustration. It kept me going. And I'm interested. I'm invested. And sometimes I do like, I can't stand a perfect character. I can't. And I'm like, unless I'm like waiting for their demise. And maybe I sound petty, but it just makes for a better story. But to see a character not unchanged anyway, like even in their perfection, not changed in any kind of way, I just can't. I'm just like, man, this is so boring. This is boring. This isn't tugging any of my strings, even if it's those frustration strings or me getting pissed off. So I'm like, no, I'm good. Maybe that's, and I think that's the reason why I don't like romance too much, because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of
it's romance. I feel like is wrapped up too tight, too neatly, and that's what gives it its like, I'm not appealed by that. But I will say I've been reading a lot of like Black romance, and that's been helping. I guess just seeing people that look like me falling in love and deserving love.
Yeah. So I read 2 indigenous romances, and it isn't the romance that I'm wrapped in. It's all these other characters. It's the people, how they relate, what love looks like probably in the community, and how messy it is. It's not perfect, but it's also like, I think the cultural stuff too really grabbed me. And so so it's good in that way. I mean, I'm not giving it 5 stars a lot of the time, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the writing. So, or not the writing, I'm enjoying the characters and the people in it. So I probably just have to maybe just read more BIPOC romance, because I love the mess. Give me the messy. Give me the complexity. Give me the I hate you characters.
Yeah. I also really love a romance thriller. So I've been reading those, like Black romances that are thriller or suspenseful. I like those. So I haven't read
a romance thriller. You should shoot me some titles.
Listen, If You Can is a series by Christina C. Jones. The Intervention of Rose by Christina C. Jones.
If You Can by who?
Christine, The Invention of Rose, I think. I got my Goodreads up. I just finished all of the books for If You Can series by Christina C. Jones and loved it. And I finished the first book of I think it's called Intervention Rose. Christina C.
Okay. Kathleen's all shoot all of us some titles.
Yeah, let me see if I can. So I'll just give you a synopsis about If You Can. So If You Can is a series. It's 3 books, and they are not long. I think they're a little bit over 200 pages each book. And it follows the story of this woman, and she's a Black woman, and she's just super badass. She's a spy, and she's also like a world-renowned thief, and like no one's better than her. Like she's just bomb. And she is working. I'm like, I can't. That would be a spoiler. Anyway, so she's working to, steal certain things, but she's also have a vendetta against this man who she believes killed her mother and her father.
Mm-hmm.
And she, the whole time throughout all three of the books, she is finding different pieces to the puzzle, and she's realizing that things are really as not as she thought they were. So she's fighting against people, getting another piece of the puzzle. It's like this mystery of like what happened to her family, but she don't give a fuck. Like she's just like, I'm gonna just go through things to figure it out, and it's messy. Like she like runs into this guy who she just hates at first, and then are like forced to like work with him, and then they end up happily ever after stuff. But then all the people that's involved in her getting her revenge have ulterior motives. Like they have their own stuff to deal with. So then you follow her and this guy and this other couple in the first book. In the second book, you still follow her, but then two other couples. And then in the third book, you follow her, the other two couples, but then two more couples. So then you get the whole picture of like, wow, everybody is like out for revenge for this man that she believes killed her father and her mother.
That sounds cool.
I love a good revenge. Get it?
Yeah. I like it too when they all about revenge.
I think that's why I love The Only Good Indian, because I was like, revenge? Yes. Serve it up.
Revenge?
Serve it up.
Get my revenge.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm looking for that other book really quick, and then we can head out. I'm just trying to find it. So it was, I don't have like any of my devices around me to look up the name. It's like the reintervention overall. Wait, hold on. Let me see if Okay, yeah,
Is
that's
it on your...
It's called Roses and Thorns. Is the other series that I really like from her, and I've read book 1, and I'm on book 2. But I will say that Christina C. Jones is becoming like my favorite romance writer.
Christina C. Jones.
And I'm sure she has her other books that I hear other people read are like more like it's really the star of it is the romance. But I know I won't enjoy that. Like I need some killing, some murdering, some stabbing, something happening. So these two have really been nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it. I'm on your I follow you on Storygraph, so.
Yeah, so the romance I believe it's romantic suspense as well. Because this it's another strong Black woman who is like, look, I think this is so cool is because I will say, there's a content warning of human trafficking. So, be aware of that if you're reading this series. But I think it's cool that there is this like secret organization who is running shit. Like, and they're terrible. So it's like she's fighting against this organization. And I feel bad because I thought I was starting off the book right. And I end up reading the last book in the series. Like I got 60% in and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't the first book. So then I stopped reading it and now I finished the first one and then I'm going to read the second one, but I kind of messed up. But yeah, there's a lot of murder going down. So I like this one.
I'm only laughing because I've done that before. Like
it's just embarrassing. Like you think you're
But I read the whole book and I was just like, wait a minute, who's this person?
Right. It gets you. It gets you. You're like, wait a minute, this is not it. But yeah, so is this series. There's another series that I just got I think it's called High Stakes. Yeah, that's another suspenseful one too. I'm really just reading all of hers. That's like, I think it's more like a mafia one, kind of the High Stakes series. So if you're into that, but that's what I'm trying to read all of them first, and then I might the Love Sisters. I might read that. They're very short, but I'm just really into that suspense. So any suspense she writes, I'm about it. So that's what
I'm enjoying too, just women's fiction. Not really. I don't think I'm just a lone romance genre reader. I try, and I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna end up getting this whole genre like 2-3 stars the whole time.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, yeah. I'm like, no.
That's what I realized for myself. Like, I can read only horror and be satisfied. Only thriller, satisfied. But romance, it has to have a thriller moment. There needs to be some suspense. Somebody gotta die. I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna.
Somebody gotta be dead already.
Yeah.
Or killing along the way. Yeah.
Right. A mystery in there. So it's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As long as there's a murder.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's true. All right. Well, I won't keep you here too long. And I also have another
Oh, you have another live show?
Yeah.
Which show is? Where's that one at?
It's not like a live show. We're on Zoom talking about the book Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. I
saw her. She did I went to this book festival and she was talking about her book. I was like, whoa. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I have your arc. And she's like, you do? I'm like, yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna read it. And I was like, I'm excited to read it. And I was like, it's your debut book, right? She's like, yeah. So she was just talking about like her experience writing it, and it was really cool. But it was awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm ready to talk about it. So we're gonna have that 7. So I'm gonna go and take some Tylenol because I'm in some pain before we get to the next one. But thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. And we will see y'all on April 15th.
Is it April 15th?
Or 14th? Yep. 14th,
15th? Oh, and then we probably have to fix the time too.
Yeah, we'll fix the time.
Yeah, we'll fix the time.
April
15th, Friday. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.